Did you hear the horns? His pullback. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. Hey everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield, and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And we're here with lineup 10. I believe most of the videos are released at this point, so of course we're starting with our favorite, WAACKING. Oh my God, we have the second requalifying round as well as 16 through finals. I don't know if I'm ready for this. If you have not seen, I have looked at lineup 9 and died. So I've been able to enjoy uncovering so many incredible whackers and other movers within the scene that are affiliated with this franchise or the circuit. So much so that we are currently marathoning lineup all season. So I think I'm on season 5 right now, but we're skipping it, going to season 10 and then going back. So if you're like, Jess, I want more battles from you, Patreon's perfect for that, as well as all of these videos get released first there. So if you're impatient like myself and you want to binge some stuff, Patreon is your cup of tea. I'm ready. Actually, no, I don't think I'm ready, but we're gonna have to be. I hope you are. Let's go. It'll be fun. Wow. Yes. Really nice. Good speed changes. Fun. I really appreciate how there's so many people from different parts of the world here. Really fun. Ooh, okay. Very interesting. Jimin, last year's winner. The top is eating. Tell him. Yeah. Wow. Ooh! Come on. Love it. Yep. Grace is here. Ooh. Oh, oh. Okay. Usage of funk so helpful on this track. Wow. He's it. Oh, that's fun. Let's go. Come on. We're back. Yeah. Come on now. Okay. Woo. Oh. Yeah. Get it. Yeah, I'm really digging this lineup because we're going to be seeing some people from different parts of the world, which is different WAACKING perspectives. Go, Jamie, go! Oh, the shirt eats. I love it. Oh. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Wow. Hi. Yeah. Tell him. Ooh. You said hey. Ooh. Yeah, let him. No. Hey, hey, yeah. Wow. Oh, hey. Wow. Wind it. Yep. Yep. Pop it. Eh. Eh. Oh. Oh. Oh my God, her outfit eats. Oh my God. That was so awesome. This track is so fun. Wow. Woo. She's very captivating. Okay, Miss Ma'am, I see you. Yeah. Yes, the silk is in, everyone. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey there! She is eating in this fit. Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay, okay. Ooh. Nice. Okay. Really nice. Yeah. 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 Wow. These outfits, I just think, where do you go to get some of these outfits? Yeah, let them know. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Pony? Oh, hi. Oh my god. Her outfit also eats. Ooh. Yes, she sent that through. Absolutely. Is this Jasper? Oh, oh! Wow. Hidden. Ooh. Ooh. That sounds meow. Oh, this track. Come on now. Nice. Wow. 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 His choices give a little bit of like a Paso Doble vibe, doesn't it? Very fun. Wow, this is the most diverse prelim we've seen, that I've seen.
Extra audition. Third audition. DJ, are you ready? Alright, drop the music!
Wait, what? What is this? Extra. What do you mean by extra? Jimin, Shahin from Netherlands, and Yuji. Oh, could they not decide? What? We could not decide. Shahin from Netherlands. Ah. Wow. Hey, okay. Hey. Got a little old school flair in it. Okay. So it's just between these three. Okay, interesting. I would love to know context behind this. I'm not quite sure. Okay, let's talk about who my preferences were going in, who I would love to see there, I would say I actually really like Jimin's prelims here, but it looks like he's over here. So it's let's start here. Between Jimin, Shahin, and Yoonji, my preference would lean to Shahin for the type of track. Now, for WAACKING, actually, hold on real quick. Okay, so a lot of things that I look at pertain to the usage of your technique, musicality, staging, your presence, usage of mode changes, which means different techniques that we're utilizing, rotations, posing, storytelling, just off the top. So with Shahin, when it comes to how the track is with the type of tone in the story that is shown, he approached the track where it allowed a sense of breathability and storytelling and dynamics to be easily digestible to the track. He wasn't just approaching it like a technician, which can give you a competitive edge depending on your track, right? So that's why out of the three, I would lean to Shahin here from the Netherlands. Looking through, I would say Grace was such a vibe, right? I think part of it came from her fit, but her approach was very interesting. Jim, how he utilizes and switches, or sorry, he doesn't switch. He hybrids his techniques with WAACKING with other styles, and he justifies them so well in posture. It is such a commendable, impressive thing to watch him. So I'm very, very intrigued to see him in this. I would be surprised if he did not make it past this. Right? Quinta, I love her as the day is long. She is such a vibe, fantastic storyteller. Oh man. Danny, this is the first time I'm seeing Danny or awareness of Danny. She was very, very fun. Jamie freaking slays in the heels. How we utilize our staging, moved about the space was very nice. I would say Shahin, out of the 2 rounds that we saw him in, I liked him. I think his choices were more effective here compared to the very first part that we saw, right? Okay. Wabi, Wabi was such a vibe and a half, such a risk taker, right? Very intrigued. Definitely on the posing elements, storytelling elements for sure. Yeonju, best dressed. I feel like I've seen her many times before. You guys clock that, check that. Goodness gracious, her fit eats. She's probably one of my favorites out of everybody that we've seen, because I don't think I've really ever seen her of like fresh faces that I haven't clocked or like can say off the top. Really loved her choices on her track. Quiddy, very strong in choices. What is this? Muddied, outfit eats, how she progressed it up. Really good pacing of her choices within her round. Let me see. Dickie Miles, when he took off the jacket, I mean, when it comes to like old way, very, very captivating in his approach with that. And so once he took the jacket off, I think it really helped enhance his choices. Right. Okay. Kiki. Very interesting choices coming from Kiki here today. You said the floor, the setup, come on. Pony, love her fit. And I really do appreciate how she approached the track as well. With Jasper, probably one of the best runs I've seen from Jasper in a hot minute. This is really enjoyable seeing his approach to this. Hidden, really interesting. She has some very subtly unique textures that I'm not used to clocking with her, so it makes me intrigued on how she's grown over the last time I've seen her. Sun Kim, like I said, feels like a heavy ballroom posture in his choices, Paso Doble specifically, which makes me so intrigued on if that's just a thing that he does, or if that's just partaking to the song and what he's wearing. I don't know. But those are kind of out of everybody, those are my preferences. I'll say Sun Kim from China. I'll say Hidden. I could see there. Jasper. I'll say Pony. I can see, what was it, Dickie Miles? I can see Dickie Miles make it through. Marid. Quiddy had a very, very strong round. YY, hugely strong round. Yeonju, yes. I'll say Wabi, risk-taking for sure. I would say, I wouldn't be surprised if I saw him in top 16. Shahin, I would pick him if he had to go again, I would pick him from this lens here, more so than from this. Grace, very intriguing perspective. It's not the same as what I noticed with Victor, which I know Victor's a battle guest. But she has certain nuances of captivation that Victor also brings. Yeah, so it's just very interesting that our normal people that we would normally lean to, like Yoonji, I mean Pookie, I'm not really familiar with Pookie, Jimin, and Sarah. I'm assuming there's a chance that Yoonji and Jimin may not make it to top 16 because if they had to go again, and if I'm picking who I'm picking, that means my other two didn't make it, but maybe it's somebody different picks, right? And then Sarah, I don't know, in the great scheme of as competitive as it is, if we're picking less than 16 people because we have 2 battle guests and we're only picking 14, I think. I don't know if what she brought was competitive enough for the bracket in particular, but I'm also hopeful that whoever doesn't make it in this bracket makes it in open or in another category that we get to see together. That always makes it really fun, right? So I'm ready. And Jeem as well. Jeem's approach was fantastic, very strong, consistent, and I would say it's the power of the silks right now. Because goodness, you got Jeem in a full silk fit. You got Jamie and who's that? Quiddy. All in silk fits, and all of them had really great rounds, if I'm being honest, in their respective fields of scope. So, yeah, I'm ready for round of 16. Let's go. First of round of 16, Jimin versus San Kim. Ooh, okay. Okay. Oh, Mr. Pasodoble. That whole beginning, it didn't feel like it synced up to the music, did it? I don't know if that was us or them. Very fun taps. Nice. Great pacing in this. Gosh, it's high level. Oh, man. Ooh. Wow. Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. Okay, before we get a verdict. That beginning section with San Kim, did it hit? Like, was he too early? I need to, like, actually hear it. I actually have no idea. I could not tell you. Part of it is he was hitting certain nuances within the track, but then part of it was, is he familiar with the track? He is, yeah. So then I wonder if he hit it too early, is what it does come across on, right? And that is a component that can be measured. I would say San Kim had a very strong presence throughout the entire round, showcasing the usage of our staging, also showcase some complexity of our choices with our arms and our wrist rotations and our poses. I would say Jimin, when it comes to texture integration, I'd say Jimin has a more competitive edge to that, but San Kim brought more density of vocabulary. So I'm very interested in how this is going to pan out. Who would I vote for? I'm not a tire, so I'm going to avoid doing that. I don't see this as a tie either, because it's not showing as that. Ooh, oof, oof, oof. Ooh, I would say Jimin did not. The build up. It took some time for Jimin to get in the flow of the track. For this round, I would go San Kim, but if either took it, it wouldn't surprise me. But I'm gonna vote San Kim for this. Gosh, but Jimin's textures. Oh, God. Part of it could be a uniqueness on approach of track, which Jimin definitely brought that too. Oh, no. I have no idea. I'm going to stick to who I thought. Okay. Cool. Jimin taking it. That's absolutely fine, right? Like, it's, if we look at, it just depends on the component and what you want to measure as more, like, what are going to be the factors that are going to influence a vote? Because I'm telling you right now, every single human that is going to be existing here are going to be high level. So it's going to come down to how you are approaching your criteria and following through and maintaining consistency within that, right? So, okay, totally fine. San Kim, a beauty, getting to watch you. Okay, next we have Hidden versus Denzel. Denzel, this battle against. Whoa. That was interesting. Wow. Oh, very nice. Nice. Really like the ISO of the chest for that part there. Send it back. Yep. I don't know why, but it feels like these rounds are longer. It could just be when I'm just conditioned right now. Nice little sugars. Ooh, good speed change. Nice. What's that? Ding, ding, ding. I like the switch on that. Okay, my vote would go to Hidden for this because of when you look at creativity, vocabulary, Denzel is such a technician, right? Hidden's approach to her technique was very interesting in her textures and how she chose to approach musicality, right? Musicality is a connection between music and movement through timing changes, through rhythm changes, through manipulation of rhythms, polyrhythms, and understanding tone of a track and all the different timbres and tonal colors, meaning sound context, what we hear in a track, in the way in which it is presented. How do we use that to our advantage? When you're used to dancing to very familiar tracks, they can be really tricky. Ibuki touches on this, funnily enough, where if you're very conditioned to approaching a track and its timbres in a certain way, that can work against you in the creative aspect, where it can look a little bit oversaturated in your perspective. It's too familiar, which can lower originality, right? Because then you're just conditioned to go with what you're used to doing. So between the two, because remember, it is a battle comparison. Who did it better based on the criteria that you set for yourself, right? Hidden on musicality, that's a huge, huge, huge component for me. She had fantastic, creative, digestible, captivating elements within her round that really helped approach the track in a way that I have never recognized it before. Denzel showcased a huge technician perspective, but some of our moments, yes, we had dynamics, but the textures plateaued across the board. Now, does that take away from the beauty and the caliber? No. But just remember, we have to make a choice, and I'm going to try to avoid tying, so I'm trying to give a reason as to why. I'm trying to justify my why in order to, if I'm right or wrong, it is what it is, right? There's beauty in being in this position and just reviewing and collaborating with you guys in the discussions about it in comparison to being a judge there. I'm not an active practitioner enough to where I have credentials or presence in the scene to where I would be somebody that people would respect in that position. And that's okay. I don't care. Like, I'm great being in this position. So that's why I'm landing on what I'm landing on. My vote would go to him, but Denzel did a fantastic job.
자, 앞서 설명을 드린 대로 절반은 대한민국에 있었고 절반 해외에서 게스트입니다. 결과입니다. Who takes the win? 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Cool. That was great. So freaking fun. Kiki versus Jamie. Oh, this track though. We're approaching similar timing across it so far. Good usage of the floor. Wow. So we're approaching it with a similar texture across, but I appreciate the choices. So we're taking risks through the usage of the floor. Oh, that's annoying. That was so good. We're in it, guys. We're in it. Okay. Okay. If we're looking for readability and clarity of movement and less is more, Jamie would take it. For Kiki, I appreciated the risk taking, but there were certain components that were a little bit muddled in the translation to the track. So that's the hang up here, is that it's okay if you're choosing to go more simple. And I'm not saying simple is easy. No. I'm not talking about the difficulty. Difficulty that Jamie brought was more towards the floor and the flow of the usage of the floor, but notice that the texture kind of streamlined across the board. Not really kind of. It was streamlined across the board where we weren't providing a heavy staccato, legato contrast. Whereas with Kiki, we definitely were seeing that present in speed changes and usage of dynamics way more aggressively. So that's going to come down to, with this type of track, I can see both perspectives justified. It's a who supplemented their choices better than the other. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh. Oh, this is tricky, guys. Oh, good. And it's not a tie. We want to avoid those, right? For this, Jamie has my heart, goodness. But I may vote Kiki for this particular round because of the component of the texture not adjusting or the mode change not adjusting. and we were approaching similar timings throughout our round, and Kiki really attacked it, took risks, and had a creative approach through those elements that we had already touched on. So that would be my vote. Oh my god. But Jamie! Ugh! 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 This track, though, is such a vibe! Whoa! God, that was so great!
이 두 분은 그런 점에서 우리에게 정말 소중한 존재라는 생각이 듭니다. 여러분의 사랑을 박수에 담아주시죠. 그리고 소리 질러봅시다. 자, 여러분들의 목소리를 다시 한번 들려보도록 하겠습니다. Who takes the win? Everybody count down. 3, 2.
Wow, okay. Okay, Jamie. Hey, it is what it is. I'm here for a great time. That was such a fantastic round. And does that mean I get to see Jamie again? Yes, it does. Okay. Danny from Italy versus Victor. Victor, oh, bless it, from the Czech Republic. Oh, her outfit, goodness, girl. Okay. Well, uppercut, that's very interesting, yep. Oh. Ooh. Into a shootout calypso, lordy. He knows how to work with subtleties. But we're really approaching a lot of head ISO subtleties, right? The hip is different in context. Well, you've seen it use the head and ISO. That's the 4th time now we're seeing this. Okay, so we saw Victor approach his subtleties with the head 4 times. So I'm clocking that right there. However, remember, if we're choosing to do that, is he supplementing the repetitiveness of approach with other elements? His creativity is through the freaking roof. That was incredible, his approach, going in and out of his choices, right? So he held it down there. As a technician, we saw a lot of really interesting range choices. It's something that is a component we do know of is his ability to send his arm back, right? So he had very interesting risk-taking in those senses. Now, Danny held her own in the technique side, in her approach and how she used her staging. Now, that's where it comes down to, does the repetitiveness that Victor did, does that take away from the creativity of the other sides that he did? I would say it can balance out. And then with Danny, we saw a lot of her choices were really interesting and playful, but could you have seen her approach her, if we put a different track on, would her round have modified? I mean, of course the answer would be yes, but I'm saying in theory, you could pick up her round and put it on a different track and it would register similarly. So that's going to be a musicality note that I would give that. But herself as a technician is incredible. Like that, when I tell you any kind of notes that I give or observations, they're not coming from a place of they suck. Quite the opposite. We're admiring the beauty and the art of whacking here, right? But we're still going to touch on, okay, if somebody wins or loses, how could that be? What could be a reason as to why that is? What are the judges thinking? That's what I'm trying to help in translation here. Treat me like that. So I can see Victor take the win because of the creativity, and that is a really, really hard category to justify, especially in this day and age of social media and the oversaturation of perspectives that we are exposed to on a day-to-day basis, right? So I can see him there. When it comes to the technique, Danny presented more density within it from a creativity, like I said, a creativity element or musicality element. Victor did present very interesting choices within the track, but did he do enough in density? I mean, if you go back to whoever with Jamie and Kiki, right, you saw that Kiki was presenting more density, but Jamie went slow and steady, took the approach he did, and ended up winning 3-0. That's fine, right? And so that's the kicker in this, is that you can see Danny for winning because of her lack of repetition, but then you can also see Victor winning because of he supplemented the repetition with creativity and musicality. So my vote for this, if I'm gonna but can I say that outfit, I wish I could pull a fraction of what she's pulling. Oh my God. So I would say I'm gonna vote Victor took more categories, but there's like a warning shot I'm given about, I'm noticing a repetition on, it can borderline cut off his flow.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it doesn't, what's interesting is our audience doesn't seem, kind of, they don't look invested about the win or the losing of people, or it looks indifferent. That's very interesting, right? Anyway, oh man, okay. Shaheen versus Team! Charleston with the brushes. Wow. Okay. He replaced the perfume with the claps. Never seen with him. Good tension. Stickiness of our music is really nice and recognized there. All of that. Wow. Okay. But no, we've already seen in the bracket he utilized his foot in that way already before. But then, of course, you can say the same thing about Jeem and some of his syncopation choices. Approach. Ooh, what are we doing? Ooh. I've never seen this type of, approach. Does that make sense? Where you normally see these types of exchanges, but I'm not used to this kind of in-your-face approach in whacking. I don't know. Okay. I was leaning more towards Shaheen. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can see Jeem take it because of his... Oh my god. Oh my god. This is they're so tough. That's what makes it such a good discussion, right? Okay. Okay, I can see. Golly, if it comes to complexity, James got it tenfold. On complexity of a technique standpoint, he also presented within posture something different to the track to allow us to approach the track in a different way. With Shaheen, how he approached it was such a beautiful setup, probably one of the most captivating setups we've seen thus far, right? All of that was great. Right, all of that, such a character, such texturized, right? Really appreciate that. All this is really, really nice. That there, we already saw that kind of choice with the knee from that the prelims, which is something where, okay, we're going to continue to factor in the preliminary perspectives into these rounds because that's going to affect creativity in the stamina department, right? There's physical stamina and then creative stamina. The knock, the kick's cool. Come on now. Exit it through. Subtlety with the hip is nice. The walk forward, I'm wondering too from a courtesy thing how he kept touching Jeem, approaching Jeem. I wonder if that works, if that will work against Shaheen too, because I'm not used to seeing it. And normally in tiebreakers, sometimes you see this type of exchange, but this was abnormally combative for WAACKING. And normally you want to advise against touching. Even in WAACKING sometimes, right? But Jeem made it work for what it was, right? But it definitely, I think it played against Shaheen's ending, the moment he started approaching Jeem. So that's why I would say my vote is going to lean more towards Jeem because the round, in independence of factoring the risk-taking that took place with Shaheen, that I don't come from the position where that was the best playoff for him in a round of 16. If it was a tiebreaker, that would make more sense. But because we're dealing with a 1v1, it worked against him in how he could build his round. It kind of regressed to okay, we keep touching and approaching, but it's not elevating Shaheen's choices as well as it could. So that's where I'm coming from. But the beginning of Shaheen's round was so competitive. But my vote will go to Jeem for this. Man.
Who's going through to the next round? Judges, 3, 2, 1. Okay, this is Jeem takes the win.
Okay, cool. Okay, Wabi versus AC. Wabi changed fits. AC is a battle guest. Wow. Okay. Didn't he end up pulling at his bottom before? No, that was Jeem in prelims. AC! vote, and then and we're gonna see how this fares out. My vote's gonna go to Wabi from France.
자, 최선 우리 스태프분들이 할 일이 있으신 것 같긴 한데요. 잠시 뒤에 보석을 수거하기로 하고 일단은 결과 나오도록 하겠습니다. 프랑스의 와비 그리고 중국의 배틀 게스트 AC 결과입니다. Judges 3, 2, 1.
Okay. So let me explain why I picked Wabi here. Is essence and posture and the type of track that we're given, right? So it's, wow, this is so interesting, right? The approach, I love the setup here. The ball changes are really interesting uses of the chess. Very fascinating choices. The timing, rotations were very fun on that as well. The take it, strike out, and I do like to travel it through on the mind. The double up is cool. So when it comes to the technique on both sides, both held their own. I mean, it's the WAACKING division of lineup. It's really, really competitive, especially in recent years. So that's never going to be a debate on competency of craft. It's how you utilize it with other categories and the type of track you're given. Sometimes it comes down to the track itself and how you approach it, right? Because there's something to be said about certain techniques being incepted depending on the type of track that was also incepted at the time, right? That was explored. So in how we're approaching it, we have subtleties going on with the hips. The swing arounds are nice, good timing. So we're showcasing technique. We're not rushing through our music. And I like the usage of the chest. It made it polyrhythmic in that section as well. The drop down is also fun. The little, ooh! Subtleties, so the pauses. Some people may be like, oh my God, why are they pausing? Or why are they just standing there? That's part of WAACKING. That's something that is totally passable in the WAACKING scene. That's not the same as hip hop. It's not the same as krump. There's different key elements in every style, right? So in WAACKING, that is a component: storytelling, posing, as well as your whacks, your strikes. You also have your rotations, your swings. You also have musicality, integration, the technique, and the polyrhythmic exploration of your overheads to your strikes to your whacks. So the pickup there, I do believe this Alf motion there, I thought that was an interesting choice to travel through. Swing with the arms is interesting. I don't know what our judges are looking for. Does that make sense? Because if you think they're leaning old way, they don't vote old way. And then if you think they're leaning new way, they don't vote new way. So I really have no idea what their criteria is. But this exploration is really nice. How Wabi is approaching this is similar to how Shaheen started his approach against Jeem. If he kept with it and continued to innovate and provide a creative, not loophole, but perspective throughout the track, and didn't approach Jeem and use a lot of that time in trying to make something work when it wasn't working, I think that result could have been different. As much as I stan Jeem, right? As much as I love watching him, it all depends on the rounds, right? And it would be a disservice to everybody, regardless if I like them or not, as just a mover that I'm captivated by, if I just voted for somebody because I liked them. That's not going to be beneficial for anyone, nor is that going to make me satisfied with anything at the end of the day, too, because that's making it about me and my preferences, not about trying to maintain a sense of criteria that I'm trying to maintain objectiveness by to help promote conversation, right? What I say doesn't go very rarely. I'm just a supplement of curiosity that I'm hopeful with people as to the whys, as to why things happen. I voted for Wabi and I still stand by that. I appreciated Wabi's vibes, right? The usage of approaching the camera, the poses, the reverbs are so nice on that. The walk is interesting. I would say the sit down is also nice here. But we end up doing something 4 times. We're kind of waiting through the end of the phrase before starting something else. The poses are fine. Bah, bah. 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the little shimmies are fun. Our overheads, we've been doing those about the entire time, which is different context, right? The poses are nice. All of this, starting from this point, I think it's a very strong round from AC. But how we got into it was very predictable to the track for the types of pockets of timing that we were exploring. Also, some of our choices look a bit rushed here as well. Now, don't get me wrong, I love AC so much. I am so used to seeing AC on Street Dance China through and through and through. And I'm not touching on this in regards to what I'm used to seeing from him. I'm talking about specifically in the round between the two who had more musicality. When it comes to storytelling and tone shifts and usage of our movement to cater to our track, I'm going to lean to Wabi for that. But AC as a technician holds it as the day is long. It's the reason why he's a battle guest, right? The hips are fine. Oh, we end up losing the tassel, which is unfortunate, right? The little layback is really fun. What I find interesting is I'm curious if we're going to see Jimin versus AC match. That'll be very interesting. Don't you think? Slow walk is nice. Pose position's great. The little woo! Nice little pose, the little subtlety in the shoulder with the walk back. Cool. And then we have a nice exchange. But yeah, so AC ends up taking the round. It is what it is. Nothing too crazy. Okay, Marid versus Dicky. Oh, hold on. Let me go back. What is this? What is happening? Okay, here we go. Marid is in a cowgirl outfit. I am living. Wow. She's hitting that tone so well. Wow, okay. She had a little ballroom influence there, yeah? Which helps on this type of track. This is a newer school track, too. Oh, okay. Okay. So my vote. Oh, we couldn't decide. My vote for that round in isolation would go to Marid. The tone for that of this track, and note too, remember what I said, song choice can determine a lot of things. Dickie's giving a huge impression of old school way, which I think is so beautiful to see, right? Well, the type of track we have is not an old school track. Consider it more of a modern track, right? To this realm. And so how we approach it, you can approach it in an old school way, but you have to be able to match the creativity demands of a more modernized track with the timbres and tonal colors that are affiliated with it, right? So with Marid hit it. That tone, when I tell you, that was so beautiful in her exploration of that. That was so captivating, right? Dickey held his own as the day is long. Like, everybody's holding their own in the space, right? So this going to a tie, I understand, but for me, I try to avoid ties, so I would go for Madid here for those reasons, because of her musicality was really, really high in her approach. She's a heavy technician, but also you saw many mode changes within her choices, meaning her technique changes and her timing modifications and usage of her space was really, really helpful, right? So this is our first tie of the whole shebang, which is actually kind of impressive.
Judges, 3, 2, 1.
So we got a tie.
타이브레이크. 자, 복귀점입니다. 바로 하나요? 자, 바로 진행하도록 하겠습니다. 자, 여러분들 박수.
This is an older track, so it's going to be or the approach in it. Tiebreakers can be so fatiguing on our dancers, man. It's just in round of 16. Okay. I would say that's a tough round for different reasons. So it's I can see either take it. When it comes to the essence representation, Dickey has that. When it comes to the technique exploration through like using technique to justify musicality, that would be muddied. So one's approaching it from an environmental standpoint and one's approaching it from a technician standpoint. And that's always really dicey because those are only one components. And it comes down to who supplemented it more. Dickey looked more fatigued to me near the end of it based on how we were regressing our choices and internalizing our choices. But that was a choice that he was making throughout his round. So that could also be just a preference of movement for him. And then with Marid, going to the floor and trying to... I wouldn't say it's troubleshooting per se, but it did come across like we were troubleshooting through, okay, we're on the floor, pelvic thrusting, that's fine. But the repetition of it, it wasn't quite matching near the tail end. And we weren't quite sure how we were getting up either. So she just stayed on the ground, right? Now, I'm not projecting that that's what she was thinking. It gave that impression in the tail end of her round. So this one's really tough, honestly, for those reasons, because both just had observations of both where I could see either take it for different reasons, right? So let's see. I actually don't have a definite person I would go for that, because I would
choose only one side. Okay, ready. Please have you ready. Yeah. She's not ready.
just think, hey, is it okay for a judge to do that? Yes, because she's not looking, she's thinking through. Like, that is absolutely okay. If you need more time to analyze it down and pick somebody for the sake of not tying, take the time you need. It's okay. So you have to choose. You have to choose. Choose. Oh my God. You said you were ready. You said you were ready. You said you were ready. Oh my God. I hate the tension of this. I hate the tension of this. She may go Dicky.
Everybody keep it up for Monia. Choose only one side.
Uh-oh. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look.
자, 타이를 내셨는데 오천이가 알 수 없는 표정으로 일단
What does she
오고
choose?
있는데요.
Oh man, if you're not able, oh man, oh crap. I don't know how I feel about how long it's taking after it's like a 3, 2, 1. Like, you make the decision, right? And if she really can't, even if it's by a little bit, there is going to be somebody better than somebody else. Now, I already said what I said about round 1. It was Marid. Round 2, Marid held her own, because they were so similar. And not in approach, but in the fact that it was really hard to tell, I would default to Marid because that was the first person. When you look at the 2 rounds combined, she's showcasing more. Like, that was my vote that first time. Oh my God. So it's the same issue. Olchan is trying to tell her, you gotta vote. Oh my God.
1200명이 조용히 좀 이렇게 조용히 있으면 저 혼자 있는 줄 알았잖아요. 엄마랑 통화할 뻔했네.
I don't know how I feel about this per se. Oh, man. Yeah, that I don't 100% know how I feel about that, about how long it took after the case, because then it's really hard to be like, how does she justify the difference at that point? We don't know. Could it be subjective? Could it be what? I don't know. But normally in these spaces, they don't give feedback. It's only if a dancer approaches them and says, hey, why did I lose my round, right? And then that would be an opportunity for a judge to have to justify why they pick somebody over them, right? And if they're not able to provide that, then you run into the problem of, okay, well then why were you choosing who you were choosing? If you couldn't justify your choices, then the entire bracket was just out of preference, which should not be the case 100%. Yes, we have preferences of criterias and things like that, but you should be able to maintain consistency to use that as a measurable factor, because judging is a skill set, right? They're not just dancers in the space going off of how they feel. That shouldn't be that case. It should be, here's these components that we look at for whacking and being efficient in the battle space for whacking, and these are going to be the components that are measured. Here's why, within the measurements that I chose as a judge to present, that this is why they did better than you in these components. You did good here, but they did better in these components in this way on this tiebreaker, right? That's what dancers deserve. And that's the judge's responsibility, is to serve in that way by being a sense of clarity and justification for choices. Okay. All right. Grace versus Hejun. Is Hejun oh, okay. Hejun is a battle guess, it looks like. So I guess Yoonji didn't make it. Now the downside is Wizard and Hejun are in the same crew. So I can see people look into that. Okay, my vote would go, you're kidding, we're not doing another tie, are we? My vote would go to Hejun for this. Gosh, that was a matchup though. I really enjoyed that, right? We're having such a fun track. Grace is a vibe. Honestly, if Grace did her round in front of a camera, like for photos, that'd be some great photography. Okay, so it's just commentary. Okay, yeah, my vote would be Hejun. Here's why, before we see what the results are. Hejun and Grace approach the track in very interesting ways. When it comes to more risk-taking, Hejun approached that, both usage of the floor and usage of character representation, our storytelling. Now, there was only a couple hiccups with Hejun where you could see we were hearing the track and then we adjusted to the track in comparison to, you know, I mean, that's kind of what happens when you're like super not familiar with the track. This also is one that it's more of a funk track, right? So, I mean, I feel like WAACKING can dive into funk tracks mighty fine. Yeah, this track I don't normally see this track done in WAACKING spaces. I see it done more in Campbell locking spaces and in popping boogaloo spaces. So, yeah, so Grace had her approach, which was very interesting choices. It gave, man, this is so tough. This is so tough, and I love it because we get to converse and discuss, and it makes me just that much more excited to hear y'all's thoughts as well. Both approached the track similarly. Hejun had separations within her technique that showcased the track in a way that we were able to hear the sounds based through the movement. That's musicality, right? With Grace was also to do that, but were there more predictable elements already in play? And so we were hitting the track predictably? Yes. Could that be because she went second? Possibly. Sometimes going second can be a disadvantage because of what was already established in polyrhythms and in exploration of our tracks. Grace didn't present a new, fresh perspective onto the track that wasn't already established by Haejun. That's why I would be voting for Haejun, because of the originality and creativity that was showcased from going first in that sense. Okay, let's see. Ooh, this is tough.
Count to 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow. Spicy. Wow.
자, 우리 혜수 씨는 잠시 뒤에 또 오픈 스타일에서 만나뵙도록 하겠습니다. 야, 오늘 누군가가 예상하기를 와킹이 그저만 와.
This feels different. I don't know why. This feels very different than lineup 9. Could it be because I'm very familiar with so many people now? But even then, I'm looking through season 1 through season 5, and they don't feel like this either. So I don't think it's a saturation of people that I'm used to seeing. It's hitting different. In just the vibe of it just feels different. Huh. Okay. It's interesting, right? Okay, I'm ready to get to round of 8, so let's go. All right, round of 8, we have Jimin versus Hidden. Hear the bases and how he chose to approach him. Interesting. Wow, the travel around was nice there. Wow, okay. Oh, okay. Travel up was interesting. There's 2 rounds? Oh my god! Wow. Usage of the horn was nice there. Wow, okay. ISOs were cool. So fatiguing. They do 2 rounds in a round of 8. lot of Hidden's qualities we're seeing here are things that I've really admired about Jean's approach to tracks. Wow, what a risk. Okay, I can see, once again, I can see it swing either way. My vote is leaning a smidgen, like this much more to Hidden because of the uniqueness of her musicality choices. Jimin is such a technician, and he hits the track in very fascinating ways where he justifies it so beautifully polyrhythmically. The textures is what Hidden supplemented some of those choices with, which helps elevate from a creativity and originality standpoint, right? So when I say it's like this much, I'm saying it's like that much. If Jimin took it, wouldn't surprise me. But for me to make a decision, my vote would go to Hidden. Oh my god, what? Okay. Okay, so it's a tie. Oh my god, that is so unfortunate. So unfortunate. And I know if you guys are like, oh my god, Jess, why would you say that? We get to watch him again. It's because this is going to bite both of them in the butt, regardless of who wins in the round of fours and in potentially finals, right? Because it's a oh my god. It's because I think we ran into it with Marid, because Marid had to do like Lord knows how many ties with Kiki, right, last season. And that's just, anytime you had to encounter a tie, is it's one extra round that it's going to work against you in the stamina side going in further along in the bracket you go, right? So that's why my heart hurts when we do a tie. As much as I love watching people, it's hard, right? Yeah. Yeah. Strobe it, strobe it, strobe it, strobe it. Wow, Jimin. Oh. Nice pulls there. Oh. Tell him. Yep, yep. Okay. I would potentially switch my vote to Jimin after the tiebreaker because as much as I love her texture, we were teetering a little too close to supplementing too much outside of whacking for a whacking bracket. If this was an open, very different story, but it's not. So that's something that we're gonna clock here, is that with Hidden, she integrated some house into it. I mean, of course, we had ISOs, but then, of course, the same can be said with Jimin with usage of strobing, right? So it's that's so tricky. Oh my god. So it once again, regardless of whoever wins, they both were incredible, and it makes sense. I understand why it went to a tie. I could, because of the components that Hidden had and how we were teetering a little too close to the line of supplementing too much outside of whacking for a whacking round, I could shift to Jimin. And that could be, sometimes it could just take that reason, right? And that is okay if it just comes down to one reason, one difference. Because you're dealing with such high caliber people, sometimes it comes down to song choice. A lot of times it comes down to how your movements are sequenced going from high to low in your level compared to somebody else's high to low level. And it could be just a small smidgen thing, which shows you how impressive and capable who we get to watch is. And that's why we're going to celebrate it and appreciate it for what it is, regardless of results, right? So let's see who takes it.
고민이 될 수밖에 없는 지점입니다. Judges, you guys can choosing only one side. Are you ready?
Part of me wishes that we just did that from the get-go, because that's what we have to.
All right. Countdown. 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Hey, which I know some people are like, oh my god, a lot of people look surprised, they look excited for Hidden. It's because Jimin won the WAACKING bracket last season. So she took down the defending champ in this. So that's something to commend. Now Hidden's been in the game for a hot minute too, so don't downplay her. I really, really like her approach in these rounds so far. And Jimin put up one heck of a fight, my god! That was so fun. Goodness gracious. Okay, next is Jamie versus Victor.
Alright, Victor, you're ready. 네가 나한테 물어보기 전부터 난 이미 준비가 됐어라고.
Yo, he's spicy. He's biting back. That's funny. He said no. Oh my god, I bet that was such a fun interaction. Oh, come on. Victor's outfit eats. Goodness. Victor's first. The wingspan of his leg is incredible for that. Jamie's entertaining something similar. Oh, that was nice. That's nice. The flow, my God, Jamie. But Jamie's entertaining something similar that we saw in the last round, which is a consistent flow, which is beautiful. Worked for him in the last round, but cannot work against him in the exploration of movement creatively. Okay, music change. I would say Victor took the first round, but not by a large margin at all. He just keeps getting rid of clothing, doesn't he? He's trying to catch it. God, that wingspan is aggressive. Wow. He's gotten a lot better about not overcompensating with the head. That knee was dope. Wow. 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 And he's nodding the trace. Oh my God. God. All right, Jamie, how are you responding? God, that was strong from Victor. We're hitting the bottom, but we're not taking the risk on the percussion. And I wonder if that's going to cost Jamie on this. Because we're pursuing predictable pockets in our music, right? Yeah, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, and 1, 2. So that was probably the only time in that entire percussion opportunity. There you go. Oh, we're losing our shirt. Ah! Making it work. Make it work. Oh, vibes. Yeah, so I would say Victor in that second round took it. Wow. Yeah, it's because Jamie was doing this. But man, do I love Jamie so much. I do. Victor was very, very smart in that second round, for sure, because we didn't rely upon repetition in the sake of just compensation, meaning that we're not just sitting there doing something because that's just a transition to get into something else. Everything was connected very well. And even the look, just something subtle. That was a really good usage of a head ISO. So subtle, so effective, got story across, right? Get the point across. So that was low-key combative, but it was like it was a confidence. It was a confidence within the combativeness. It wasn't the I'm gonna F you up. It wasn't like that, like you would experience with krump or with hip hop sometimes. This was more so a like I know what I'm doing. Square up is kind of what that invitation was, which was, whew, goodness gracious, Jamie, valiant fight, sir. But that should be a clear 3-0 to Victor. Woo! We sent off the Bengals. Exhausting. Woo!
그분 가운데 한 분만 세미파이널에 진출하여 히든을 만들게 됩니다.
Against Hidden?
Count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, one of my judges, it looks like we're holding her at gunpoint to make a decision. Like, it's so painstaking how she's like, I don't know. You know, it could just be how she is, and that's okay. But it is catching me off guard how difficult it's showcasing, like how she's coming across, like how difficult it is for her to make a decision, right? So I don't know. She's there, I'm here. Let's live our lives. Okay, moving on. Jeem versus AC. Jeem's gotten all dapper, hasn't he? 2 rounds. Let's go. AC's approaching similarly to Jimin. Wow. Wow, I'm hearing that. The travel was so interesting. Really fun heel toes. Wow. It's the essence of tone. Do you hear how that tone comes across and how he's creating space for it? Wow. Giving each part of our music time to shine. Wow. Okay. I'll say Jeem took that first round. There you go, there you go, there you go. There you go. Yeah, yeah. Woo! The range as he clocked in on the back was so cool. Woo! He said no! Oh! 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 Ooh! Ooh! Could you hear the horns? His pullback. I'm seeing it! I'm seeing it! Ooh, subtlety in the hips. Nice. Okay, okay. I was listening. I was listening to that. Wow, okay. That was a fantastic round from AC and from Jeem. They both approached it so well. My vote, because of how that first round went, would go to Jeem. The attention to our music and how we're choosing to approach it is so well done for this round.
야, 정말 1초도 놓치지 않고 모든 음악적 상황을 가득 채워주셨습니다. AC from China, G from Korea. 한 장의 티켓, 4라운드 결승 진출을 세 번째 대회입니다. Judges, 3, 2, 1.
Nice. Ooh, well done, AC. That was such a great round to go out on. Goodness gracious. Okay, Dickie versus Grace. Wow, good range. God, I really want to see a Victor versus Grace situation. Right? Okay. I love how the camera keeps it on them when they're really trying to make face to it, right? Grace for that first round. Ooh. Wow, that was a very interesting sequence she chose to go with. She is choosing to repeat some of her choices, like the straddle, and to how she chooses to get up as well. He tried to answer with the split. He had the power to get out of it, but when it comes to the flexibility, Grace had that. We said, hey! Okay. There are times, it could just be because of how Dicky approaches his choices. A lot of times it comes across like he's just flippantly making choices without exploring and resting in it. But that could be his flavor and perspective of it. And there's justification in that, right? Oh man, that's tough. So man, I'm leaning more to Grace for this. Dicky, however, oh my god, this is hard. Dicky had the setups and choices, because if I'm looking at it from the lens on, okay, how Dicky moves is in this way, in the risk taking that ends up happening, just like what we noticed from Victor, right, is a captivating element that we get to appreciate. So Dicky's stage presence is great. Grace's stage presence is great. It's two completely different takes on a track, which is why you have two tracks. Grace, from a musicality standpoint, hit things in really nice ways. Dicky's essence matched the tracks. So, oh my god. Do I expect this to be a clean 3? I don't think so. I could see our two ladies go for Dicky and then see Wizard go for Grace because of what each of them brought and preference of the culture that has stewarded with the respective styles. I'm going to be honest too, I'm not super familiar with the French whacking scene at all. So I don't know what nuances are catered to what is culturally known in the space. Remember, whacking came from America, so I'm used to that sense, but also I'm very saturated in the Korean whacking scene, so I understand how they modify as technicians within it, where like in America, it's such a melting pot and there's so much genuinity and authenticity that gets presented a lot of times. And then here with Koreans, they can be such technicians, but sometimes the essence can get lost with being a technician. And then now I'm learning more about the French scene, where I can't really speak on how what's molded or rested based on what gets practiced. I don't know. That's the tricky thing with this.
제가 밖으로 와서 뭐라고 하기에는 그냥 빨리 배틀을 끝내는 것이 더 현명하지 않을까 나왔으니까 다들 건강하시죠? 좋습니다. 다행히 좀 내려오셨고요. 바로 결과 나가보도록 하겠습니다. 자, this 3, 2, 1.
Wow. Wow, Wizard opted for Dickie as well. Okay, cool. I like being wrong. I like learning new things. Yeah, so I can see people be like, oh my God, Dickie's just flailing about. Part of me does truly believe it is a postural intentional choice in how he chooses to approach. It does have a sense of familiarity to me. It reminds me a lot of, like, do I want to go so far as to say punking? Which is the parent style of whacking. It feels even older than Old Way to me with how Dickie's approaching it, which is why it's so hard to measure in these cases, which is why sometimes if the track opts for more new school, like newer timbres thrown in the mix, then Dickie will have to square up with that, right? Through complexity, through techniques, through other timbres and texture justifications. So, oh my gosh, but man, Grace did such a good job here. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Hidden versus Victor. I bust the windows out your car. Did you notice she hit the switch off? Going off of what great character changes. He's going off of the angstiness of our tone we're hearing and the words. Faster. What were you hearing? Oh. Oh, Miss Hidden. Whoa. We got BPM changes on this crap. Wow. Come on, Miss Hidden. Come on. Yes. tough. With the dip, right? The head ISO was cool. It's interesting he cut that off. Huh, okay. Hidden's second round was really, really great. I could see it be the narrowest win for Victor for this. Because the first round, because if you look at who's been winning, right? Judges may preface essence building, which I totally understand. I lean that, especially whenever you're able to tailor it with giving music its time to shine and using your movement. So just straight up musicality, using and stewarding each sound beautifully, right? Which is what Jeem's last round was. It was so fun. So Victor really took on the emotion of the tone of the first round in a way that, yes, people can consider it repetitive, which we were entertaining that just a smidge here in the second round. But in the first round, it was contextually placed to where it made sense with the type of track that it was. Here, Hidden really pulled out all the stops in her choices. It was really beautiful. So I want to commend her. It's probably my favorite round I've seen of hers to date. Like, that was beautiful. With Victor, I think he held his own enough in the second round compared to how Hidden held her round to Victor in the first round, right? Which is why I can see it be the narrowest win to Victor. But if it went to Hidden, it wouldn't surprise me either. But if I'm going to vote, I would vote for Victor for those reasons. Well, we know it's not a tie. That's great. I'm glad it wasn't a clean sweep because that was a really, really nice round. Okay. Dickie versus Jeem. He adds his breath to match the breath of the horns. That's ridiculous, dude. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Now, predicting we may see Dickie take off the wig or take off the jacket, which we've already seen done, right? I love the outfit change, though. Yeah, this is a great round from Dicky. You see that? Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, that was a great round from Dicky. Jeem had more complexity on him though. And matched in essence too. Ooh. Oh. Ah! Yeah. I feel like it took see? Yeah, he took a note out of Victor's book is what that looked like. Yup. Hey! I'm so glad we got to see Victor go. Hey! What's up with these BPM changes in these tracks? Specifically in this second round. Wow. Wow. Oh! I love this exchange. Ah! Dicky is so tall compared to Jeem. Oh my god. Hey. Nice. That travel up was cool. Fun, fun, fun. Those BPM changes ain't no joke. Oh my god, the size difference is crazy between Jeem and Dicky. Okay, my vote would go to Jeem for this. Chalk it up to whenever you listen to the track, Jeem matched it through how he approached being intentional with each part of his music, right? That's something I'm noticing as a common theme with how Jeem's been approaching his bracket. I think the prelims into the first round of 16, we weren't quite seeing it, but starting on that round of 8, he was unlocking really cool elements within his tracks. And I would share the same sentiment about both of his rounds here. Dicky, this is probably the best rounds I've seen of Dicky in the whole bracket. This was really, really nice, a fun exchange, and I love the little, the strikes that we saw from Jeem was a direct reflection that we saw from Victor earlier on, and I love that little interaction that we saw there. I loved that. So my vote is going to go for Jeem for this. His musicality and his technique are strong. Strong, strong, strong.
BPM이 계속해서 계속 조절이 되는 와중에도 주제에 대한 연결과 속도 놓지 않았다고 무대에 대해서 진부한 대기만을 지었습니다. Alright, judges, is going into the final battle. 3, 2, 1.
Sweet. Cool stuff. Look at that. Oh my god, I am dying. I'm dying at that. Oh, it's so fun. Okay, WAACKING final. It's the WAACKING final between Victor and Jeem. Oh my god, they're wearing the same outfit. I am dying. Stop it. It's clean, Jeem. Who could win? God, that intro was gorgeous. It got me teary-eyed. Woo! I really like how Victor watches. Victor's still in the gym too. That was incredible. That was such a good round from Jeem. Oh my God. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh my God. He slapped that floor. Oh my God. Oh, yeah. Wow. Wow. He said Anna somersault. Whoa, nice, 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 Victor. Nice. Wow. That was a fun final. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. I think Jeem took it. I think Jeem won that. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, so Jeem's approach to both tracks were astronomically well done. Victor did so well in the second round. The first round, wasn't quite a slip up. I think Jim got an advantage because he got the intro of that song. When you heard it switch, yes, Victor got to hear and play off of some of the similar sounds, but he didn't get that intro the way that Jim did, and how Jim set that up was insane, right? So sometimes going first has its benefits, right? Sometimes going second also has its benefits. So I think it's luck of the draw in what part of the song we got, because Victor held his own, but Jim created such impressive pockets of exploration through that first track. That was wow. Like, I got emotionally centered. Now remember, my emotion should not determine whether or not who wins or who doesn't win. But the reason why I was so taken aback by Jim's choices was because of how he utilized different techniques but still kept the essence. That was impressive. And then going to the second round, Jim completely shifted his style, but still kept the heart of whacking in play, right? The versatility that we just saw from him this is a beautiful example, like textbook example of how you can use whacking for different styles of your music. Boom, right there. Wow. I have no idea who's going to take, I don't know who wins, but I think I would vote Jim for this. Victor, well done for him for making it to finals, because he was a battle guest last season. Oh my God. That was surprising. Okay, I think even Victor was surprised that he won. Let's go back and look at that. Look at his face. I am very, very intrigued on y'all's thoughts about this. I am not downplaying Victor's quality of movement whatsoever. Based on those 2 rounds that we saw in the finals, how Jim approached them was so technically sound. Essence was recognized. Whacking was in play with our strikes and our whacks. Posture shifts. Ooh, wow. Okay, well, that was a very surprising finish for me, but you know what? I love celebrating whacking. I love celebrating the art of it, and celebrating people, just being incredible practitioners of it, right? So, wow, this is, yeah. So you guys know me, I know you, I'm Jess, and I will be looking at all the lineup 10s in due time, because as you're noticing, these are going to be long. So if this just tells you how these will go, especially because we look at the preliminaries, and that's fine, I love them. I want to give them all their love, but they may not be coming like back to back. So just keep that in mind. It all gets early released on Patreon as well. If you're like, ooh, Jess, I'm down for that. I'm down for it too. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. Bye.